AI generated art is embarrassing. There, someone had to say it. Are you chronically online? If you're a member of Gen Z or you're one of my friends who I forced to watch my videos, then I know the answer to that is yes. And for that, I'm truly sorry. There is no cure. We are all doomed. But if you've been on any social media platform within the past 24 hours, chances are that you've come across AI art of some kind. Whether it's people partaking in the Studio Ghibli trend, or it's people fixing other people's artwork. Twitter! Sorry. I had something in my throat there. Or even if it's some completely different short-lived fad, you've probably either seen or partaken in AI yourself this week. It's okay. You can tell the truth. There's no judgment here. But shout out to everyone who made it through the week without making one of those little action figure versions of yourself. Here's your trophy. Good job. So Lore Drop, for those of you who don't know, I started this channel for a class. I'm currently in a podcasting class at my university, and for that class we had to post publicly, which is so fun for me, as I'm sure you can tell. But in that class, I remember very recently we had a guest speaker come in and talk about AI and how he uses AI in his work. And like any respectful student, I sat there and listened, and I thought to myself, man, I hate AI so much.
Find that work, hey!
Every time she opens her mouth, I pee.
That's my life.
My dad keeps singing Pink Pony Club. You need to call the police.
I think I probably know like 2 straight people.
It's this random twink that works at Google.
Now that I know that you went to fashion school.
Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Chronic Costuming. I'm your host, The Chronic Costumer. On this channel, we discuss all things design, fashion, pop culture, as well as delving into ways to design sustainably and ethically. If any of that is of interest to you, please hit subscribe, join our tiny community, and never miss another episode. As I'm sure all of you have guessed by this point, today's episode is going to tackle AI. Now, I do want to make just a few quick disclaimers. First of all, yes, I understand that there are cases where AI does work as a useful tool and does serve some good. That's not what I'm talking about here today. I am talking exclusively about AI-generated art. And I hear all of you saying, but AI can be used as such a great reference. And to that I say, not really. Okay, so for example, look at this AI-generated rabbit, right? Do you see the issue with it? No? Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit closer. How about now? Do you see the buttons on his waistcoat? They don't make any sense. Like, you would be so much better off just Googling an image of a real-life waistcoat. And even in less realistic pieces, you can still see that AI images don't work well as references. The proportions are usually way off. And once you zoom in and you actually look at that, you suddenly realize just how flawed they really are. Honestly, just drawing from life not only, in my experience, helps you progress and learn as an artist, but it also is just so much more practical. And if you don't feel that you can draw from life, there are plenty of drawing bases that are very easily accessible and free and available to the public online. Just look at Pinterest. But you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. So what even is AI? Okay, well, if you live in the year of our Lord and Savior, 2025, I am almost certain I don't have to actually explain it to you, but I'm going to anyway. I'm sure you're familiar with what AI, the letters, stand for, artificial intelligence. And you know what? That sounds great. So what is it actually, though? So the purpose of AI is for machines to be able to tackle tasks that would typically require human intelligence. So think reading, writing, problem solving, drawing. And this is all done through data intake. AI systems are able to learn through in taking in more and more and more data. And that sounds great, right? Yeah, well, when those skills that AI is learning are the skills that put food on your table, yeah, not so much, not so much. AI can be particularly harmful, not just to people and their careers, but also to the environment. But I will get into that later. There are two popular defenses that I see people using when discussing AI in art. One of them that hits a bit harder than the other, and those are that AI is the same as any artist taking inspiration from another piece because there's no such thing as original or creative thought. We are all taking inspiration. And the other one is the idea that AI makes art more accessible. I'll let you decide by the end of the video which one of those irks me more. But in this video, I want to respond to those two arguments. So first of all, let's talk about how AI is just taking inspiration. So I get that this comes from the fact that AI works by taking in more and more and more data. I get that. But like the entire argument is just so beyond flawed. So I want to give a personal example for this, okay? If you would allow me to yap about myself for just a second, I'm gonna be nerdy and talk about theater. So in my freshman year, I worked as a costume designer for a children's show called Ghost of Splinter Cove, and I knew immediately after reading the script where I wanted to take my primary inspiration from, and that was the show Bluey from Louie Studios. Louie Studios? Ludo Studios from Louie Studios. Bluto from Louie Studios. But no, I had a lot of ideas with this. I wanted characters to have similar color schemes and color palettes to what I saw in the show. I wanted each character's color scheme to be coherent with another character, sort of in the way that Bluey is with Bandit and Bingo is with Chili. I wanted these characters to wear big statement pieces as accessories in the same way that we see the characters, both the children and the adults, playing dress up in Bluey when they're playing pretend. And yeah, Bluey was my primary inspiration, and when you look at my designs, the concept sketches, the finished products next to Bluey, I'm sure that with me explaining this, yeah, you can see those, you can make those comparisons. But that's the thing. If I type into AI right now, Bluey clothes, and I get results, they're gonna be like this. They're either gonna be just blue clothing or pictures of Bluey, the character. There's no heart behind this. There's no care. There's no emotion. There's no humanity to it. You either get something that's completely off to what you wanted, or you get a simple remake of the idea. You don't get anything new. These aren't ideas. These are remakes in slightly different fonts. Secondly, I want to move on to the argument that AI makes art accessible. Oh boy. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I am disabled. I'm an autistic person with medium to low support needs. I have POTS as well as a seizure disorder. I have chronic fatigue, I have chronic migraines, I have chronic muscle pain. I'm an ambulatory mobility aid user. I struggle with motor skills. I have ADHD. I most likely have dyslexia. I require very frequent treatment via meds and also very consistent IV infusion appointments. And on top of all of this, I have also struggled extremely and very intensely with mental health issues. So when I see people use this argument to defend AI generated art, I don't just feel angry, but I also feel very used, I think is the right word. Like, I feel like my existence as a disabled person is being monopolized to win an argument. And not only is it being monopolized, but it's being monopolized by someone who does not care about me or other disabled people. I feel like it's very easy for people to justify their guilt over using AI by taking a sort of activist approach to it. But the thing is, I never see actually disabled people saying this. It's only ever neurotypical or able-bodied people. And they don't include us, actually disabled people, in the conversation. They're speaking about us. They're speaking over us. This is also just blatantly false and ignorant. And actually, you know what? Actually, no, it's extremely disrespectful to disabled artists, people like me. I think that we see, especially now, this is a very current thing that I've seen, I think we see a lot of people taking an activist stand to justify their actions, especially when they know that their actions are wrong. I mean, we see this all the time with the fast fashion debate. We see people ordering from Shein or Temu and saying, no, it's fine because no ethical consumption under capitalism, or no, it's fine because being able to buy sustainably is a privilege, or no, it's fine because judging people who buy from fast fashion is classist. But at the end of the day, this is usually just people using large buzzwords without actually even understanding their meaning. Art has always been accessible. Whether you are disabled or you are low income or whatever else, you can be an artist, and history has proven that. And at the end of the day, AI art it's lazy and it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. Typing a few words into your computer screen, clicking a button, and then generating a photo, and then calling that art, that's embarrassing. Because it shows that you don't care. It shows that you don't want to learn. It shows that you are lazy. And it affects more people than just you. Which brings me to my last point, the environmental effects of AI. So we've all heard before that AI is bad for the environment. But why though? But why though? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. AI makes me sick. Well, AI takes a lot of energy in order to operate. A lot of energy that is often found in fossil fuels, which causes significant carbon emissions. And on top of that, the metals that are often used in AI machinery, they have to be mined. And mining is often incredibly damaging to the earth. And on top of that, we already know that in the US, we have a huge overconsumption problem. So what happens when people buy AI machinery? They throw it out. And this contributes to mass amounts of e-waste, which is also incredibly environmentally harmful. The toxic materials that are often found in AI machinery and devices is typically incredibly toxic. And it's just laying there. Now, okay, listen, I know nobody listens to this podcast to hear me yap about the environment. Actually, nobody listens to this podcast, period. Except my friends who I force to listen, and my teacher who has to grade me. Hi, Dr. Knight. Hi. But I get it. This is a channel that is about design. You know, people come to me. No, people would theoretically come to me to hear about pretty dresses and pop stars and pop culture and cool costumes and theater and musicals. And I get that, I do. But there's a reason why I say in my intro, this is about delving into ways to design sustainably and ethically. But you know what? That being said, I also understand that I'm probably not the most informed person on this topic. So here, this is a video that I used to research for this episode. So yeah, it's much better than anything I could say. It's very well worded, it's very informative, it dives very deep into the topic. I highly, 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 highly recommend it if you are actually interested in learning more about this topic. So, to wrap this video up, I just want to say that AI art... No, I can't say that. I can't say that. This is for a grade. My teacher's gonna see this. He'll take points off if I say that. I can't say that. AI art is embarrassing. AI generated art has never been, is not now, and will never be real art. There's no heart behind it. There's no emotion behind it. And the idea of ever replacing a human artist with AI is frankly laughable. But for a lot of people, that's a very real threat. And every time that we choose as consumers to take place in the latest AI trend or the latest TikTok filter or whatever else, we're choosing to tell people that yes, we support this. Yes, this is what we want. We're okay with this. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's embarrassing. But if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, please just remember that is just my opinion for the day. Feel free to start a conversation in the comments. I would love to hear from all of you. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe so you never miss another episode. I post hopefully weekly on YouTube and sporadically on TikTok. If you would like to follow an actual human artist, then this is my costume account and this is my main account, and both are public. So follow me, commission me. I make dresses. That is all I have for you right now. I'm the Chronic Costumer. This has been Chronic Costuming. And yeah, bye. Was that cringe? Did that sound cringe?